Okay, cool. Okay, great. Thank you. So first, just a quick thank you to the beautiful organizers of this amazing mindfulness series, Janelle and Claudia. Thank you for having me here today. Thank you for organizing this. This is so important right now. And I'm sure that everyone participating is getting so much from what you're offering. Thank you. And there is really no better time than right now to be honoring our mental health and our mental awareness and just accepting where we're at with ourselves right now. This is a really difficult time for a lot of us, even if we're not nurses. And so just finding ways to calm our minds and bodies is so, so important. So before we get into EFT and tapping, let's just take a moment to arrive here fully. As we've all had a long day, or maybe we've just woken up. So we'll do a short meditation and get comfortable where you're sitting. Maybe just rolling the neck side to side, stretching your arms, stretching your back. And then I invite you all to gently close your eyes. Taking a few deep breaths here. And take a moment to thank yourself for being here, for coming to this session right now, and for prioritizing your mental health and your emotional health. Even if it's just for this 1 hour today. Just thank yourself for that. And then letting go of your entire day up to this point right now. All events, any work you may have done or been at, any conversations you've had today. And on your next out breath, letting all of that go now, so you can arrive fully here. And then starting to become aware of your physical body sitting there. Feeling yourself connected to your seat. Feeling the seat connected to your floor. Feeling your floor connected to your house or your building. And then feeling your house or your building connected to the earth. Imagining that you can see that line of connection. And following that line of connection all the way from yourself through to the earth, grounding you, balancing your energy, and clearing your mind. Allow yourself to straighten your spine even more. Dropping your shoulders, allowing yourself to feel even more grounded, more connected, and light. And now become aware of any noises that are around you, if there's anything. Traffic, animals, people. And then letting go of those noises as you soften your body even more. And if any thoughts come, let them come. No resistance. Thank those thoughts for being here and presenting themselves. And then let them go. And let's take a few deep breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Whenever you're ready, you're welcome to open your eyes. There's no rush. Stretching your body. Coming back into this present moment. Having a little shake. Having a little giggle, a little smile. Beautiful children, Patty. Oh, I missed the children. Okay, welcome back, everyone. So some of you in here are nurses and some are not, and that is wonderful. I would love to first share before we get into learning about EFT and practicing it for ourselves. I'd love to hear what emotions you have been coming up for you recently, what you've been dealing with, what's been challenging for you. And this can be around going into work, or it can be around COVID or having to be in lockdown, just something that's really been alive for you right now. And we have a pretty small group, so we can probably share by voice. And so, Alex, if you'd like to share first, how have you been feeling lately?
So I work at a family doctor's office. So I'm the only, there's less volume in the clinic. So I've been the only person working, helping all three doctors. So I feel lonely. I've been doing this for like a month and a half now. I'm used to having 4 coworkers. Now it's just me. So I'm lucky to have a good work-life balance, but right now I've been feeling very lonely.
Yeah. Definitely. And thank you for taking on such a big load. Yeah. Thank you, Alex.
No problem. Thank you.
Kelly, what have you been experiencing emotionally recently?
You know, I think like currently how I've been feeling would mirror what Alex says. I think that the emotion that comes up the most is just missing, I'm, with my family and I have like immediate people around me, but missing more connection with like-minded people that are outside of my immediate environment, and how that'll usually give me like a reset and an engagement in a different way. But I worked recently in like more of like an urgent care, which I had never done before. And in that job position, actually, I was like alone in the position where I was kind of like a drop-in urgent care. And was the first time I really had anxiety at work in a way. And I think it was just sitting there and never knowing what was going to happen next, because I had no one between me and the public. And definitely found myself having to ground and deal with that space in a different way. So
yeah, and having to ground yourself in those moments is so important. Even just taking a few seconds to ground, and it sounds like you have some skill there to do that for yourself.
Yeah, and then it can be humbling too, because when it takes over, it can be, you don't have a support person, when you don't have somebody to co-regulate with,
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Kelly. Sharon, would you like to share how you've been feeling recently?
Yeah, I'll share. So I've actually been feeling very relaxed, and I feel like I have more time actually. So since our hours have been cut at work, I feel like I have more time to spend at home with my family to actually rest, relax. So I'm actually taking this as a blessing. So I know that it's been stressful for a lot of people, but I've actually really been enjoying the lighter workload.
Yeah, that's wonderful. There are so many sides to this, what's happening for us at the moment, and it's wonderful that you have time to share with your family and just feel relaxed. And I can't see, but I can hear a beautiful family in the background.
A lot of kids.
Yeah. Welcome to them all. Kathy, would you like to share with us next?
I've been sort of vacillating a lot. I feel a lot of anger. I just came from a grocery store, packed full of people, very few of them wearing masks, not exactly social distancing. I'm in the Oregon coast. We have not opened up yet officially, but people are already acting like it's no big deal and they don't care. I am worried about my friends that work on the front lines. I'm still seeing patients, but I'm seeing patients that have been screened. I feel more at risk going to the grocery store than I do working in clinic at this point. I feel blessed. I can afford this. I've been partly furloughed. I'm having time off. This is kind of like practice retirement. I'm having a really good time being home actually. And I know it's not like that for a lot of people. And so I'm feeling a lot of things. And I go from crying at the weirdest moments about the strangest things, but often it's gestures of selflessness and generosity. Seeing a lot of that and trying to focus on that, and really putting myself in timeout from Facebook because I don't have to respond to everything I see. And I see a lot of inaccurate information. It's my job as a nurse to educate. So I don't know. I'm feeling a lot of different things. I can't say any one thing, but a lot of anger.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a roller coaster for a lot of us, feeling grateful and blessed and happy and relaxed, and then all of a sudden seeing something and being triggered and angry.
Well, and a little guilt. So far, I'm healthy. I haven't been affected by it. Knock on my table. But, I can afford it. I'm having some time off and getting paid for the time I'm losing. Hey.
Yeah.
I've got it awful good compared to a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for sharing. Asma, how have you been feeling lately? Any emotions coming up for you? Oh, cannot hear you. Just have to unmute your mic. Still cannot. Still cannot hear. So we can come back to you, or you're welcome to type into the chat box and we can read it out. Okay. Olivia, would you like to share some emotions, how you've been feeling recently?
Yeah, I think I've been feeling quite well, actually. And it just got about 10 times better. As Kathy, I'm sorry, as you were talking, my dog just walked in and yelled at me because she's hungry. Being able to take a break out of life, especially as I'm considering this career change, that has been a major decision, and it just happened to fall at a time where I have to be inside and can do nothing but focus on what's going to come up next, has been both really good because I've been able to spend time with my parents, which I haven't in a long time, with my dog, with, you know, having a space to garden, and being able to be steady for a little bit has been very good. But then there's always things boiling up around, now what? This is a huge change in my life. In the world in general, but in my life in particular, and just everything related to what comes next. How am I going to make this work? Savings don't last forever. How do I balance saving for school and saving for life in a jobless economy? All that is there as well. So yeah, I think like most of us, half good, half bad, right?
Yeah, fluctuating all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, thank you. I can relate. Thank you, Olivia. And is it Aunt? And
hello guys, sorry, came in late.
hi. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So we're just sharing some emotions, how we've been feeling recently. Anything come up for you?
Well, I'm still I worked last night until midnight. So I'm exhausted, but I'm still in the front line. I'm taking care of PY patients, so every day is always a stressful day. You don't know what patients you encounter, but you know, it's I just pray every day that, you know, hopefully I don't get it again. I actually had some symptoms 2 to 3 weeks ago, so that was very scary. But fortunately I tested negative, but a lot of people said there's a lot of false negative going on. So this weekend or the next week I'm gonna have my antibody testing, so hopefully that will be okay. But New York is still going on with the lockdown, and there's still a lot of cases going on here, so it's still a stressful situation. And it's pretty sad that a lot of my colleagues are affected by this. A lot of them are sick, and the person that I actually work with is critically ill right now. He's in the he is in the ICU and fighting for his life. So it's really, really sad. But every day I pray, and you know, hopefully we'll get through this pandemic and, you know, come out strong somehow, you know. So
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for all that you do and the hard work, and to all the nurses here putting yourselves in the risky situations. It's so stressful beyond anything I can even imagine. So thank you for sharing. Yeah, and you're from New York, is that right?
yes, I'm from New York.
Okay, great, thank you. And I think, do we have someone not on camera? Is it Patty?
Hello, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I felt like a wave, but it's like sometimes, majority of the time I feel calm because I usually meditate. So it's really good to be in the present moment and to be mindful. Um, uh, there's only a small portion of my time wherein I feel a little bit sad and lonely. And when I feel that, I meditate, so it would not have a momentum. And then, but majority of the time, I feel grateful and appreciative that I'm alive, happy, and healthy at the moment.
Yes, thank you. Even amongst all of this, there is always something to be grateful for, even if it's the smallest thing, just to be alive, to be here. And Claudia, would you like to share how you've been feeling?
Sure. Well, initially when I was in India last, and I came back because of the pandemic, and also to see if there was something I could do to help as a nurse. I work as a family nurse practitioner. My last real position was about 2 years ago, working in dementia care. When I started looking, I thought there's lots of jobs like in crisis areas like New York and Louisiana, like hospital-based jobs. But then what I was finding was it was actually difficult for me to re-enter that field because there was a lot of qualified nurses out there that had recent hospital experience. So then I was feeling kind of a little frustrated and also feeling some guilt that I was a nurse that wasn't working and, not helping with the pandemic kind of thing. But then later I realized from talking to other nurse friends that a lot of hospitals are actually on hiring freezes and they were losing a lot of money because the elective surgeries weren't going on. So it's just like a mix of things going on in the healthcare system regarding that. So then the guilt started going away. So lately, I guess, just some anxiety, just like Janelle and I are nurses and yoga teachers. So a lot of these things that we were encountering putting up this event were completely new to us. We were discovering different features on Zoom. I was learning more things about website development and Instagram and just Facebook groups, just like everything. So we were just learning a lot of interesting things and also coming up against different issues that we just had to figure out. So there's some anxiety around that, but it's really great to see everyone come and enjoying and benefiting from these practices. That really makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And then Asma also wrote in the chat box as well.
Yes, Asma, if anyone cannot see the chat box, she said that she's been feeling a mix of emotions, a lot of gratitude for having a job, and a lot of uncertainty regarding what's next. Yeah, uncertainty. And lastly, Janelle, would you like to share some emotions that you've been feeling?
Sure. Yeah, I can really relate to a lot of things everyone is sharing. I think the main one for me is feeling loneliness and isolation. I was teaching yoga, meditation, and breath work, and all of the studios have closed, and so I'm not with people on a day-to-day basis. I'm doing a lot of work online, doing some public health research online, and working on this project has been really inspiring to me, and I have this financial security to be working online, so I'm really thankful for that. But as a nurse and a yoga teacher, I really like connecting with people physically, one-on-one, and so I really miss that. And then, yeah, I'm just feeling that loneliness, longing for connection.
Me too. Me too. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, and quickly, before we continue, recently I've been experiencing a lot of anxiety and a lot of sort of low-level depression, not diving super deep into it, but just this constant, every day, which is not something that I'm used to. And it's, because of the situation and what everyone is dealing with. And so it looks like we're all experiencing similar thoughts and feelings, and it comes out in all different ways: anxiety, stress, loneliness, depression, but we're all experiencing something and we're not alone. So I'll just ask if anyone who is not on microphone can put their microphone on silent. And like I said, we all experience an array of emotions all day long, and it's changing at any possible time without warning. And it's very natural for our emotional state to fluctuate, like some of us said, throughout the day, as we experience what's happening to us and within us and around us. So it's really common to feel all of a sudden stressed or all of a sudden overwhelmed when there is something for us to deal with or focus on, especially at work. And it's common for us to actually continue to stay in that stressed moment or anxious or fearful much longer than we actually need to, because very likely we haven't actively tried to soothe and calm ourselves. So it's very useful to know some simple tools like EFT and many other things that we can learn out there to relieve ourselves of stress and stressful emotions, and just to bring yourself back to your center really quickly and feel calm and grounded again as soon as possible. I am so super passionate about practicing EFT, and EFT is also called the emotional freedom technique, but that's a very long name. A lot of people call it tapping. And I love using it when coaching people because it's a very, very simple technique to release emotions that you all just mentioned really quickly. And it happens sometimes instantly, sometimes it takes a few minutes. But what it does is it helps you become emotionally aware, realize what's happening inside, and then release it. And you can release what's holding you back and help you move forward with your life. I use EFT on myself. I used it this morning before this session because I have so many emotions throughout the day. I am constantly up and down. I feel a lot of stress and anxiety, and I am always tapping to calm myself and clear my mind so I can continue about my day. So I would love to give you a very brief rundown of some history and science of EFT, as we've got a few beginners in here. It's nice to know how something works on the body and the brain before we actually get started doing it. And EFT was created by Gary Craig in the 1990s. He was a student of a psychologist, Dr. Callahan, who had been working in thought field therapy for many years, and thought field therapy is a bit more advanced. But TFT and EFT are part of what is today known as energy psychology. And Gary realized the amazing healing power of thought field therapy, but he wanted to simplify it and condense it down and make it easier and more accessible for everyone. So he created what we'll be experiencing today, which is called EFT, and we use the basic recipe. There's a few different recipes, we're using the basic ones. So EFT, it blends the cognitive benefits of therapy with the physical benefits of acupuncture to resolve any physical and emotional issues you might have. And it actually involves tapping on certain acupressure points of your body. And when these are tapped on, a signal is sent to the amygdala in the brain to switch off. So that is the part of our brain that is responsible for flight, fight, freeze. It activates our nervous system. It sends us into stress, anxiety, and it's really important to know how to turn that off so we can continue about our day. When we are tapping, we're also talking to ourselves, and you'll be repeating after me today about the issue that we're wanting to solve. And we use phrases to actually acknowledge how we feel and accept how we feel and allow ourselves to feel safe and relax and let go of what we've been holding on to. So combining the phrases with the tapping actually begins to rewire our neurological pathways. So this is something very relevant for now, and amidst the COVID-19 crisis, high levels of stress and anxiety can weaken our immune system. So during this high-risk period, especially, it's important to lower our stress levels to keep our immune systems healthy so they can continue to protect us, and especially you nurses going into the high-risk areas. So I'll be taking you through a tapping sequence today, which is aimed not just at nurses, but everyone. And we'll begin by finding out what are these points that we are tapping on. And so you can copy me as I take you through very quickly before we start tapping. So you want to be using the very tips of your fingertips when you're tapping, where the skin meets the nail. And the first point is the side of the hand, on the fleshy part of your hand. Yeah, just beneath your pinky finger. And the next point is the middle of your eyebrows. Yeah. The next one is the side of the eye, and this is on the bone just next to where your eye finishes. The next one is on the cheekbone, under your eye. The next one is under your nose, in between your nose and your lip. The next one is on your chin. And then on your chest, it's under your collarbone, on that fleshy part there. And then on your rib cage, under your arm, generally where your bra strap might sit. You can do it like this, or you can do it like this. And the last point is on the top of the head, right in the middle. So you can use one hand. If you get tired, you can switch to the other hand. You're also welcome to use both hands, up to you. You just want to be tapping firmly, but not too firm. And you don't have to worry about remembering these points. I'll be guiding you with my voice throughout the tapping sequence. Also, you gain the best results from EFT when what you're saying to yourself really feels true for you. So you're welcome to change any of the words or the statements that I'm using if something doesn't resonate. For example, I might say, I feel stressed, but you might prefer to say, I feel lonely. So try and say what's true for you, or you're also welcome to just follow along with me. And I advise to keep your eyes closed during the tapping. It allows for a deeper experience, and I will guide you with my voice when to move to the next point, so you won't have to worry about watching me or following me. So let's all take a deep breath. And I invite you to close your eyes. You're going to become aware of what's happening in your mind and your body. Think about what it's felt like going into work or being at home alone or being out in public amongst others recently. Being in potentially high-risk areas. Risking your life for others. How does that make you feel? Can you feel some stress, anxiety, fear, overwhelm, loneliness? And can you feel into your body now where you may be feeling that stress? Where does it feel tight or tense, aching, even painful? Maybe it's hard to take a deep breath. And rate that feeling from 0 to 10 on a scale, with 0 being the least intensity and 10 being the highest. Where are you on that scale right now? Remember that number. We will come back to it later. And we're going to begin tapping now to give all of your thoughts and feelings a voice and release the intensity in your body. So closing your eyes if they're not already closed and taking a deep breath. Begin tapping on the side of your hand. And repeat after me, only if it feels good for you. even though I'm feeling stressed, anxious and overwhelmed, I fully and deeply accept how I'm feeling right now. Even though I'm physically and emotionally exhausted, I fully and deeply accept how I am right now. Even though there is still so much to be done, and so much to think about, it's safe to let go and recharge my batteries right here, right now. Good, and moving to the middle of the eyebrows. All this stress, side of the eye, all this anxiety, under the eye, all this fear. Good, under the nose, all this overwhelm. Good, on the chin, all this loneliness. On the chest, I'm exhausted. Under the arm, every time I go into work. Top of the head, and be around people. Middle of the eyebrows, I'm putting myself at risk. Side of the eye, I am putting my family at risk. Under the eye, I'm putting others at risk. Under the nose, and it's been a lot to handle. On the chin, I'm so used to focusing on everyone else. On the chest, but it's okay to take time for myself. Under the arm, so I take a moment now. Top of the head, and acknowledge how hard this has been. Middle of the eyebrows, to go into work. Side of the eye, to support others. Under the eye, to go into the public. Under the nose, and risk others. On the chin, and face so many uncertainties. On the chest, and put my health at risk. Good, everyone's doing great. Under the arm, I've been feeling so many emotions. Top of the head, and that's okay. Middle of the eyebrows, it's okay to be emotional. Side of the eye, it's okay to feel stressed. Under the eye, it's okay to feel lonely. Under the nose, It's okay to feel anxious. On the chin, it's okay to feel overwhelmed. On the chest, it's okay to feel fear. Under the arm, it's okay to feel any emotion that I've been feeling. Top of the head, because this is just a sign. Middle of the eyebrows, of my body trying to protect myself. Side of the eye, and that's okay. Take a deep breath here. Under the eye, I'm finally taking a moment for myself. Under the nose, to check in with my mind. On the chin, to check in with my body. On the chest, and I welcome all of my thoughts. Under the arm, I welcome all of my feelings. Top of the head, and I deeply honor how I feel. Take a deep breath here. Middle of the eyebrows, all this stress in my body. Side of the eye, all this tightness and tension. Under the eye, I'm open to releasing it now. Under the nose, all of this fear and overwhelm. On the chin, all of this anxiety and uncertainty. On the chest, it's safe to begin to release it now. Under the arm, I breathe out these emotions. Good, taking a deep breath. Top of the head, and even if there's a part of me, middle of the eyebrows, that wants to hold on to some of these emotions. Side of the eye, that's okay too. Under the eye, I don't have to release everything at once. Under the nose, my body likes to use these emotions. On the chin, to protect me. On the chest, and I give thanks to that part of myself. Under the arm, and I give myself permission to feel good right now. Top of the head, as I acknowledge how far I've come. Middle of the eyebrows, every time I've put myself at risk. Side of the eye, I've been so courageous and so strong. Under the eye, even if it didn't feel that way at the time. Under the nose, it's safe now to relax my body. On the chin, It's safe now to relax my mind on the chest. It's safe now to release and let go. Under the arm of any remaining tension in my body. Top of the head, I release and let go. Middle of the eyebrows, of anything that may be blocking me. Side of the eye or holding me back. Under the eye, from allowing myself to feel good right now. Under the nose, and no matter what happens today, on the chin, or what happens tomorrow, on the chest, I'll be so proud of myself. Under the arm, I allow myself to feel calm and present in this moment. Taking a breath. Top of the head, my mind and my body are now home safe. And it feels good to be me. I am relaxed. I am at peace. Good, and taking a nice deep breath in as you stop tapping. Releasing your hand into your lap and keeping your eyes closed if they're closed. And with your next breath, check in with your body. Notice how you feel. Notice any thoughts. Maybe some thoughts came up during the tapping that you'd like to journal about or think about throughout the rest of your day. And as you notice how you feel, now rate the intensity, with 0 being the least amount of intensity and being at the most calm, and 10 being the most amount of intensity and the most stressed. Where are you now? And you're welcome to share your number in the chat box. I think my number is about a 3. You can even put up fingers if you like. Patty's a 1, that's great. Claudia from a 4 to a 1, wow, amazing. If anyone else would like to share. Yeah, Kathy, you're a 3. Beautiful, 4 to a 2, wow, great. 5 to a 2, beautiful, yeah. 8 to a 5, yes, good. So any shift towards 0 means that you are moving in the right direction towards lowering your stress and bringing you back to calm and groundedness. And with this tapping, you all began to calm your nervous system. You lowered your stress levels, you lowered your cortisol levels. It's actually been, studies have been shown that doing group tapping for 1 hour lowers your cortisol by 43%. So this is perfect for us to do as a group. So well done for bringing yourself to presence, to calm, to groundedness. Asma, 6 to a 2, yes, perfect. Thank you so much for being open and willing and tapping along with me. And it makes me so, so happy to see that you've brought yourselves to a calmer place than where you were, where you started. It's beautiful. And to all the nurses and everyone here, thank you all for what you do for others. It's just so amazing. Thank you. And thank you. I'll hand it back over to Claudia or Janelle if there's something that you want to say to wrap up today, but that's all from me. So thank you, everybody. It's been such an honor. And if there are any questions, you're welcome to email me or send me a message on social media. Thank you.
Thank you, Lexi.
Thank you so much, Lexi. That was wonderful, so relaxing. Thank you so much for sharing that beautiful practical practice that we can all use on our own as well. We really appreciate that resource. And I just want to honor everyone's time. We're a little bit over, so if you need to go, please feel free to go. But if anyone has any questions or things you want to share, we can hold the space for another few minutes if you just have any question or thing you want to share with Lexi while we're together here.
Yeah, if anyone has questions, I'm here.
I just have a question. What do you mean by grounding yourself? Like, is it just like staying present or?
Yeah, so often when we are experiencing feeling stressed or anxious or overwhelmed, it can be that our head is really running and racing in our mind, and we feel very like we cannot calm ourselves. And it's really hard to think rationally. It's really hard to think clearly. So everybody has a different definition of grounding, but for me, it's being able to feel calm and to think clearly and to make decisions and move through my day from a very clear, very calm mind.
Lexi, I have a question that's just a process question. I found myself wanting to do it somewhat evenly on both sides, and I'm just curious if that's something that's like important whenever you're practicing to try to balance it out, or do you find yourself often just doing one side and not feeling that need?
Yeah, so if you feel like doing two sides because you may want more intensity or you just may want to feel balanced, that's completely fine. What matters is that you're just hitting at least 1 point. If you're hitting 2 points, that's great. I don't know that it changes so much actually inside to be hitting more than 1 point at the same time, but if it feels good, do it.
Or like cycling, like I found myself doing one side and then doing the other side.
And then moving. Yeah,
yeah. If that's important or whatever.
No, it's not important. Yeah, you can tap one side, tap the other side. Sometimes I do very long tapping, one arm gets sore, I move. So it doesn't matter. If you'd like to balance yourself in that way so it feels balanced for you, then definitely do that. Yeah.
Thank you, Lexi. It was so relaxing again. It just reminds me of like when we comfort a baby, actually, when we pat them on the back and say soothing things, like that's what came to my mind, like we're soothing ourselves in this manner. So it just totally makes sense to do that. And your words are very comforting and very compassionate too. So I think that helps.
Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, it is sort of like a baby, like they're there, it's okay. You're okay, you're safe, you're loved. Yeah, very similar.
Yeah, I actually also have a question about the words that you use. You mentioned it comes from neuro-linguistic programming. I'm wondering if you can just say briefly a little bit about how you choose the words, or if there are like a standard set of words that can be used for certain issues when you're doing tapping, if we were to do it for ourselves.
Yeah, so there are different stages throughout the tapping. And the first stage is acknowledging how how you feel, because for many people we are resisting how we feel, or we are resisting thoughts, and that's what's creating the anxiety or the stress. And so first, just accepting, you know, even though I'm angry, even though I'm stressed, so going through an acceptance phase first of acknowledging that you've been experiencing something. And sometimes it can sound very negative, like, you know, even though I'm angry and I yell at my children every day, you know, I fully accept myself. And so you're accepting these parts of yourself that maybe you don't like so much, or that you've been resisting. So there's that part of this acceptance. And then there's the next part, which is just saying it's okay, which is the next part of acceptance. So it's okay that I feel angry, and it's okay that I feel these emotions. And that next it's okay part is all about your emotion. So the first part is more about what's happening in your life and things you say and do. The next part is just about the emotion, accepting that and knowing that every emotion that comes up about anything in life is okay. And then the next part of the process is just releasing and letting it go. So whatever I've noticed about myself, whatever I've accepted, I now just release and let it go. And it's usually in this part here where you start to feel very relaxed, because the resistance to what you've been experiencing, you're allowing yourself to just let that go now. And you don't have to hold on anymore. And then at some point reminding yourself that you're safe. You're safe in your body and you're safe in your mind. It doesn't matter what's going on for you, you're always safe. And that really helps to lower the stress, because a lot of our stress is that we're thinking somehow we're not safe. And then at the end, really just saying a lot of statements to let yourself feel safe and relax yourself. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Very much. Yeah, that's super helpful. So acknowledging the feelings, accepting, and then letting go, kind of those three
Yeah.
stages. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, that's really interesting. Thank you.
I
Any
think
other
it's also
questions?
important to acknowledge. Sorry, it's also important to acknowledge, because sometimes, you know, we're so busy taking care of a whole bunch of people. It's important to acknowledge what we feel, and accept what you're feeling. But first, I think acknowledging what it is that we are feeling is the first step, you know, and understanding that, oh, it's okay for us to feel this way. And the way you phrase all these affirmations today is really helpful, you know, because everybody's in the anxiety and stressful mode right now, and you know, there's so many things that's going on into our heads. And you know, just acknowledging the fact that, okay, I'm feeling this way, it's okay, I'll be okay. I think that's important for all of us to remember that you know, we are humans too, and you know, just it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves, because no one will.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, it's us that's taking care of ourselves. And it's very hard for some to acknowledge, wow, this is really hard. Like, what I'm going through is really hard. This is really difficult. I'm not coping as well as I thought I was going to be coping. And I'm trying to put on a face like everything's okay, but actually it's not okay. I don't feel so good. And just allowing yourself to just accept, hey, this sucks and I don't like it and it doesn't feel good, but I'm going to take a moment to just accept and acknowledge that. You know, it just takes this it releases this kind of inner resistance to yourself, you know, without including anybody else. Just to be safe in yourself, accept and acknowledge what's going on.
Yeah, really beautiful practice. Thank you so much, Lexi.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, everyone, for joining again. And for those of you who are coming for the first time, and those of you who have been here every day, it's really beautiful to have this community together. It's really encouraging me, and I hope it's encouraging all of you as well. And we would love to have you continue with us. We have 7 more days. We're going until the 15th, so we have lots more practices to share with you. We have Reiki, sound healing, breath work, more yoga, plant-based eating, all kinds of cool stuff coming up. And tomorrow we will be having a yoga nidra practice with Maya, who was on the call earlier. And yoga nidra is a really beautiful practice for getting into a state of deep relaxation and unwinding at the end of the day. So we hope you will come for that tomorrow, Sunday evening, and have a very relaxing evening with us sharing yoga nidra. So that's tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. East Coast, and wherever else you are in the world. Okay, thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful evening, a beautiful day, wherever you are. Thank you, Lexi. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you
beautiful
So
day.
much.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.